Yo, say less. So, gotta say, I rewatched that Jake Paul versus Anderson Silva fight twice already just to really see the vibe. And before I even go into the little breakdown and talk about it, I do say I give Jake Paul some respect because he has definitely gotten better for multiple reasons. But Jake Paul is also 25 and Anderson Silva is 47, almost 50, and been doing combat sport his whole life, which means that you've been through wear and tear. That's why I'm saying that. But Jake Paul is 6'1", Anderson Silva is 6'2", so pretty much the same thing. But that's like almost like a 20. That's like more than a 20-year age difference, pretty much. But overall, like, okay, so the fight stats are from Computer Box. So Jake Paul landed 51 out of 121 power punches with 44%. Silver landed 66 out of 176 power punches, which is 38%. Jake Paul threw 215 jabs, which was 140 more than Anderson Silva jabs that Anderson Silva threw, which is like a whoa. So right there, it tells you the huge difference in the fight. And if you rewatch the fight or watch it again, Jake Paul is doing a lot of jabs and a lot of feints. So right there, remember, kids, always fight behind your jab, boys. So Jake Paul landed 32 jabs, even though he threw that many jabs. Anderson Silva landed 13, but still, fight behind your jabs leads to better punches. Overall, Jake Paul landed 30 total body punches compared to Silva 13, and that was the huge difference right there. I'm going to the body and setting up that big right hook. Total punch stats, Jake Paul had 83 out of 336 with 24% landed. Anderson Silva has 79 out of 251, which was 31.5% landed. So right now, Jake Paul is 6-0. But I'll say so. Now I'm going to do like a round to round breakdown of what I was seeing during the fight. So the first round, I gave it to Jake Paul because that fight, like the one of the first round, Anderson Silva. If you watch UFC, Anderson Silva normally plays it smooth, plays it cool, doesn't really do anything, just tries to get his read on the person. So Anderson Silva only landed 2 punches that round, but at the end, if you remember the fight, it was that big left hook, binks, and right there you can tell it caught Jake Paul's attention. The next, right? So the second one, I gave that one to Anderson Silva. So the first one I gave it to Jake Paul. Second one, Anderson Silva started to the fight started to get a little bit more exciting because Anderson Silva started to pick up the pace and started bobbing and weaving and doing his little spider type stuff, which is like sketchy if you know UFC. You like, well, be careful, bro. You don't want to take one of those hits from Jake Paul. Like nobody really knows even if Jake Paul has that power in his punch per se, because he fought Ben Askren after he came from knee replacement, hip replacement, and Anderson Silva is almost 50 years old. But still, though, you're like, wait, be careful, though. Then doing that round at the end of it, Jake Paul started to clinch up a little bit. So from that one, I gave Anderson Silva the round. And the third one, I gave it to Jake Paul because even though Anderson Silva started to push the pace on him, started to push him to the ropes, which was a beautiful round. Like around the 1 minute and 5 second mark, Paul started landing some bomb because Anderson Silva was going to him, pushing him around the edge of by the ropes and stuff. Then what's it called? Jake Paul landed a few bombs. Paul was looking, but what I was thinking during the live fight, not the rematch or not the rewatch, was I was like, ooh, Jake Paul's getting a little bit tired because we don't really know if he has cardio, but I have seen some of his YouTube videos of him training. So I was like, so doing those videos, he was doing like the little ring of death kind of thing, just back to back, just doing everything. Like, so I was like, okay, Paul's looking correct. I mean, I would say that doing that video, he was looking correct, but like doing the third round, he was looking tired. But I will say this: Jake Paul does have great jabs and a great guard, and pretty decent head movement, and he throws a lot of feints. So brother man has definitely improved, especially from the Woodley fight. But then again, Jake Paul has been fighting for literally like training for like 5 years now with the best trainers. So you got to put that into his perspective. And he's taking it serious, and he really wants to be good. So brother man can do his thing. Then got to take a sip, boys. Then, so that third round, I gave it to Paul. So then the fourth round, I gave it to Paul also because Anderson Silva was bleeding from his nose in the fourth. Then Jake Paul was throwing pretty much a lot of low jabs. Not saying they were landing, but still around the but throwing those jabs leads to your other punches being set up successfully. So around the 1 minute and 1.5 second mark, um, what's it called? Paul had some bombs. Then Jake threw a freaking nice little jab cross. Bing, bings. Then after that, Silver threw a little nice cross uppercut counter. And at the end of the round, it was a very nice end of the round by Anderson Silva. But then the fifth round, I give it to Anderson Silva because okay, so the round started off. Paul was throwing some bombs at the beginning. Then Silva started to put the heat on him, started bullying him, and Paul had a lot of clinches in that round right there. Um, but Paul did predict he was going to end it in the fifth round, so you could tell when he started it off, he was trying to actually knock Anderson Silva at the beginning though. But then Anderson started bullying him, and Paul was clinching a lot. So when you're watching the fight, Anderson's getting a little bit mad that he was getting clinched. Like, yo, 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 relax, relax, bro. Then like round ended with Paul in the corner. Anderson Silva landed nice hooks and uppercut. The one thing that Anderson had going for him was when they would clinch, he'd like sneak that one in right in there, kind of stuff. So that fifth round, I gave it to Anderson Silva. Then the sixth round, I gave it to Jake Paul. So I mean, I'm a UFC guy. I don't even want to say but like I don't even want to see Jake Paul doing all this stuff. But like he's doing his thing, I guess. But he is fighting dudes that are like he should not be fighting. He should definitely fight a real boxer. So the sixth round, what's it called? I gave it to Paul because this was the round I thought Silva was going to pick up the pace, which he kind of did. But Paul started off with a nice, beautiful hook. Then Paul, the thing that was doing him good, he does a lot of little jab feints, put it up there, keep his hand up there. Then you can see him doing the head movement, going to the body, doing a lot of beautiful stuff. Um, which was beautiful to see. Paul landed a beautiful right at the 2 minute mark in the sixth round. Then Paul had like more punches thrown and landed a nice three-piece combo, like pretty much like at the end of the round. So brother man was banging, so I give him that. Um, so Paul had multiple jabs, and Silva really didn't lead with any jabs. Everything Paul was doing was leading with jabs. Silva was more so doing his thing, get to the corner, then he might do one big overhead bing. Then Paul has a nice bob and weave. He'll be like, zip. I'm like, whoa, brother man got some nice movements now. But Anderson Silva isn't really known for like knocking people out with his hands, and even was my man Ariel Hawani said that Anderson Silva was more Muay Thai knee kicks type of thing. But brother's almost 50 years old, so that definitely makes a difference in power. So going to the seventh now, I'm like, okay. So I'm like, okay, so Silva, so me and my people just watching the fight. I'm like, okay. I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, it's a pretty nice fight, but I was still expecting him, like, okay, no, Anderson Silva's gonna pick it up a little bit more. But I thought Paul was definitely gonna get tired now. Then going to the seventh, let me take a sip of this first. Yo, shout out Modelo. Yo, share this bad boy up. So seventh round. So I'm like, I was low key shocked, right? That Paul had this. I gave the seventh round to Paul also because Jake Paul, I was shocked how much stamina he had. I was like, wait, he's still able to like move around the way he's moving and has the power in his hand, but it definitely tells has good cardio and he been working on. He wasn't slacking. So Jake Paul started off the round busy, like kept the combos going, and Silva started off slow in this round, which was bad because he needed to start it off fast. Then around the 1 minute 30 second mark, Paul landed a beautiful three-piece combo. And Paul was just weaving under pretty good. And but for real though, his guard, especially high guard, is definitely legit. Paul didn't really, I can't really say he really blocked too much low, but he was doing his thing, though. Good head movement. Then the eighth round, which was like the final round, so now everybody's looking at each other at our location, like, damn. Now that's when people started saying, man, this thing is rigged, man, this thing is stupid as heck. I'm like, damn, bro, I'm not gonna lie, it's a beautiful fight to watch. Then so far right here, so I'll give this one to Paul. So Silva definitely needed to come out to finish him because he was definitely losing. Everybody knew that. He definitely, like, the only way for him to win was pretty much knock him out. So Silva started off pretty fast, pushing him to the ropes. Then Paul literally hit him with that right. Binks knocked him down at the 2 minute 30 second mark. So I'm like, no way Anderson Silva's gonna get knocked out. Then he like started up to get up, then he just stayed on his knee for like a good 3 to 4 more seconds. Then referee was like, "You okay? You okay?" Then he finally got up, type of stuff. But then right after that, Paul started like picking up the heat, going for the KO. But right there, you can see Anderson kind of like pulled back a little because he doesn't want to get embarrassed and get knocked by this little YouTuber type dude, I guess. But dude's a legit fighter now, though. So Anderson Silva pretty much he recovered very nicely, and but Paul landed like 4 more nice hooks from that 2 minute and after since he got up, probably around like the 2:10 mark in the eighth round. Then around the 1 minute mark, Silva was piecing him up pretty decently. But overall, Paul Silva was like boom, boom, rocking. But everything was pretty much like coming half in and not too much power to it. But then they were both started like swinging on each other. But then around like the 22nd mark, they both pretty much stopped. It was like pretty much stagnant. And right there, everybody was like, yeah, it's rigged, bro. Because why wouldn't Anderson Silva be going? Why wouldn't he be going? But overall, this is what I'm ending this with. Overall, it was a beautiful fight, good sportsmanship by both people. And Anderson Silva did pretty good. He put Jake Paul through a real fight, so he knows how it feels like to get in there with a real boxer. Now, in a way, not saying Anderson Silva is a boxer, and he's like literally 50 years old, but Jake Paul definitely showed he got a um, good jabs, good head movements, a good high guard, and a pretty decent cardio. But he didn't really take a lot of body shots. But we'll see the he called Nate Diaz out. I'm like, damn, you calling the what's it called? 219, real fighters only. American gangster, brother. Yo, but watching Jake Paul fight makes me like, yo, let's just say something like doubt it impossible. If Jake Paul beats Nate Diaz, I'm quitting my life and becoming a fighter and doing the Jake Paul, O'Malley, and Patty method. Cause hey, there's too much money out there to be missing on. Yo, like, share, subscribe. To my mans. Say less. Let's finesse. Yo, Vikings Nation all day represent.